Hello and welcome to our closed session. Hi there. What a
Hey,
wonderful
Rom.
4 days.
Wonderful 4 days.
Well, it's time for us to say, start saying our goodbyes. But before we do that and kind of close the conference, it's good for us to kind of just pause for a second and go back and just celebrate some of the special moments we had. So, Deb, the Academy in the Metaverse, we are going to the Oculus.
We are, and I'm so excited about this. We're taking education to virtual reality, and we're really excited about this. So, if you think about this, we have online training courses that are available in 2D. We have the ability for people to learn and watch videos of those of that training on our futuresnetwork.tv platform. And very shortly, there will be another option to learn, and that is in virtual reality in the metaverse, where we'll be hosting a series of 2-hour master classes. So, people will be presenting those instructors in their digital persona, in their avatar format. And that experience, where people will be the instructors and the participants and students will be in their avatar persona, and we're really excited about this. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that take advantage. They have the devices, the ocular devices. And we thought, this is another opportunity to provide access to the education because, as you know, Ram, our mission is to provide education to about business, health, and wellness to entrepreneurs, women, minorities, entrepreneurs all over the world, and deliver it in the media on a platform that they choose to consume it. So this is another opportunity to take advantage of the education, and we're really excited about that.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
wonderful. How about Kevin Subaskis? Systemize your business to win. The solopreneur man is back.
You know what? He's back, and I'll tell you, he really had some great insights. Even if you're a solopreneur, you need to systemize your business. You need to have an organizational structure. And Kevin is an expert in the entrepreneurial operating system, EOS. So he shared some really great insights about EOS as a tool that even a solopreneur can take advantage of. And I'm really excited about. He had some great remarks to share. I'm also excited because Kevin also has an online course with SMB, and he's got a channel on futures television.com. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, and Catherine Jones, I always learn a
Oh, yeah.
lot from her. She's a radio personality, and she brings so much to the plate.
She really does. She's got, her radio days, I think, positioned her very well to be a communications coach. So she is someone who provides some really practical guidelines about how to present yourself in the best light possible. And some of her skills and tips that she shares they are remarkable because it's not something that you necessarily would think about top of mind, but she makes it very real, very practical. And she tells us kind of the rationale behind those recommendations. And so that was another eye-opening session.
Oh, and of course, Carolyn Leonard, always very inspiring. How did you like her
I
presentation?
tell you, Carolyn is again a force. She is an angel investor, and she shared her perspective, her points of view as an investor, what she looks for when people are looking to make their pitch to her. What are the things that are really important that she's looking for? So she provided some real practical information, practical guidance to make sure that, because you don't have a lot of time when you're pitching to an investor, that time span's very short. So how can you put your best foot forward very quickly? And so she had great insights to share on that.
Wonderful. Well, and then of course, during that morning, we had Near's 5 phases. You know what? I learned quite a lot from,
Oh,
well, we always do, but his 5 phases were amazing, and actually Kari's turbulent world was also breathtaking. How did you find our keynote, Dr. Avner Bardea?
oh, I don't know if there was a dry eye in the house. Very touching listening to him speak about about information research failures and what's happening in Israel. The fact that he was presenting next to his bunker in Israel was just a moment that I think touched everybody, and that his willingness to be with us, considering those circumstances in Israel and sharing what's happening over there, and the impact of uh, some insights and research that intelligence that was missed, was kind of a riveting conversation.
It was just wonderful. Of course, then we moved into the afternoon sessions, loved, Apurva's presentation about the entrepreneurship with technology, and Daniel with his simulations, his business simulations. And then, folks, we heard your feedback. You wanted to hear more about the book authors, and we had a wonderful lineup. Futurize Yourself with Tom Myers, Corporate Explorer Field Book with Dr. Eugene Ivanov, The Business Case for Love from Mark Cox, and we had The Gardens of Intelligence with Gandrel Anderbjork. And of course, the ticket booth of entrepreneurship. How about
Absolutely, that is, that one's near and dear to my heart. But we're all on the roller coaster, ride when it comes to entrepreneurship. So that was a fun. That was fun.
Yeah, let's collect some thoughts about Halloween, October the 31st. So that beautiful session, so the morning, folks, was the C suite, so the C perspectives. So how about Max and Kevin together for the CEO perspectives? How did you like that?
That was really something that was very, very powerful, to have these two, it's a point counterpoint conversation about the lessons learned from the C-suite, and what we can all, we are, even if you're a solopreneur, you are the CEO of your company, and you need to, and it's kind of interesting because Kevin's point of view is, he really spoke about the balance, the balanced CEO, that CEOs certainly have to exhibit and have the hard business skills, right? The business acumen. But because they're leading the organization and leading the people in the organization, they also have to exhibit soft skills. So it's a balance and it's interesting that his perspective about that, and actually he has his course actually with SMB, and his videos, he's got his channel on Futures Network TV as well, is about that balance between that hard skill side, but the soft skill side is also critically important.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Ron Honig's presentation. He helps us think about how we're going to take all that variability we encounter and put that into our business model. So Ron, of course, the star. So a few thoughts that you could share about Jason Tracy's, the Chief Revenue Officer perspective, generating revenue for
You
startups.
know what? Again, just, really interesting. It's, we did listen to the feedback from the last conference about, adding some, more perspective about on the sales side, on the revenue generating side. And so Jason really provided some great insights there. The thing I really liked is some of the takeaways from his session were things that you could go, that afternoon and begin to implement. So again, practical information that was coming from these discussions, which I really am grateful that people with this caliber of experience were so willing to provide some real practical steps people can take, that could be really, really helpful. So, and he did a great job at that.
How about Iris? Iris brought down the house with her perspectives and best practices for effective marketing. So many tips and tricks on that
Oh
one.
my gosh, she did she covered a lot of ground in a very short period of time about SEO and email marketing and social media, and what to do and what not to do, and just again, jam packed information session, practical tips that people can then take away with them. So I really appreciated kind of her CMO perspective. She's a service provider. She serves CMOs everywhere. So to kind of get her perspective as a service provider to many different CMOs was really kind of a different point of view. And I loved that.
It was wonderful. And I actually loved Apurva's presentation. He came back and he talked about the impact of AI to the finance, to enterprise finance functions. So it was amazing to see, how much is changing, and even much more is about to change. Then we
It's,
switch gears towards the afternoon. What did you think about, Dr. Pinar Partis is back, our partners, the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center. What did you think of that?
I actually, I'm really glad that she was able to speak, because the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center has such access to such incredible resources for entrepreneurs. So if those who are watching right now, if you haven't checked them out, I highly encourage you to do so, because there's something there for you that you can take advantage of. There is just a significant resource for entrepreneurs everywhere, and go check them out. I think you'll be happy with what you see as far as resources that are available to you.
So, and then in the afternoon, we continued with our special guests, and we had Lenny Rachel Anderson. She is the president of the building, so that's Nordic Building, and she brought a lot more talk in terms of AI and what we do with that. And then we got back into the practical applications. How about Aida Desmondes, Legal Fundamental for Entrepreneurs?
You know what? She was really excellent, and I'll tell you, it's a there's so much to know and learn, and when you're starting out as a business owner, what are the steps you take, even how you incorporate your business. Should you be an LLC? Should you be an S chapter corporation? What kinds of due diligence should you be undertaking? Just the rules and regulations and compliance. And so it was again practical information, practical education, and again another wealth of knowledge.
And then after that, we had Nir Melamoud and Aminet Aziz. So basically Tech Investor Club, go back and check it out, because it's how to work with a VC. That was jam-packed with information. And then we continued on the capital, how to fund your enterprise. How about Tiffany's grant session?
You know what? Again, another resource that's available to us as entrepreneurs for funding. And so she really gave us a lot of opportunities to consider, as far as how do you pursue grants for your business? Should it be part of your fundraising strategy? Why it should be? And what are some really great opportunities that are out there for grants? How to find them out? How to find out about them? Which ones are available? How to do the research? And how to actually kind of maneuver that process. So again, very, very, very impactful, very helpful.
What are your thoughts? So Dr. Leticia writes,
Oh,
crowdfunding strategies were just amazing. I loved it. And I was so excited because, I learned so much on that session. How about you?
absolutely. Again, I'm really, really happy. This was such a focus. And again, because feedback coming from the last conference was, they wanted, you all wanted us to make sure that we really spoke about, more fundraising strategies that people can take advantage of. Grants certainly was one. Crowdfunding was another one. Leticia is an expert in crowdfunding. I mean, she's done it, been there, done it many, many times. She knows the pitfalls to avoid, and she can help you navigate that incredibly well.
Yes, and after that, we had Josh Joyets telling us how to use technology to wow your customers. That was amazing. And then we had Jamie and Alec who talked to us the ins and outs of managing your grants. And I thought, oh my gosh, all those opportunities are out there. Yeah, but it takes a lot of work and dedication to find them. Now I have to ask you our keynote for day two, Michael Podolny. I know
Oh,
all this work is near and dear to your heart. So what did you think of our keynote for day two?
that was another very similar to day one with Avner. It was a heartfelt, emotional session. To have Michael come back with the women that he had with him at the previous conference. Theodora Africa is a nonprofit that helps women who have been sex trafficked build computer skills so that they can create their own virtual assistance companies and thrive. And even since last May with VC Latinx, the progress that the organization has
Thank
made,
you.
the progress that the women have made, and improve their lives, their personal lives, their professional lives, their building of self-confidence, building their skills. That gives me goosebumps when I reflect on that.
Amazing teamwork. And they were telling the CEO of the company what they were doing that was different. And he said, "Oh, I did not know you're doing
I
this."
didn't even
So
know. I
teamwork,
know.
yeah, amazing learning is going on in there. So let's visit day three. So November 1st, I was really, I mean, Arthur Weiss is amazing. He just brings the latest and greatest. And this time around, we talked about AI and CI. So using basically AI in competitive intelligence. How about our good friends, so Dr. Frederick Linderkrona and Paula dos Santos Papel? Paula is back, and the IDGs, the inner developmental goals. How did you feel about that?
Again, they came, back. Paula was back, and again, really, really interesting points of view and perspectives on a topic that I think maybe generated a lot of awareness for our audience. So I was very grateful about that.
Amazing. And then, of course, Rainer Michaeli from the ICI came back with competitive intelligence for startups. We all need that.
You know what? That was great. And he gave like 10 things, 10, 10 steps to take for startups, and we had a really good conversation about that. Because, there's information everywhere. You just have to be able to find it and access it so that you can work with it and have that inform your business strategy. So that was a very, very helpful exercise and session.
And that was wowed by Erin Thomas with her messaging plus your personal brand, the keys to getting visible, credible, and profitable. How did you think about that?
Oh, you know what? Branding and building your brand image and how you present yourself and your personal presence. And she shared some really great, meaningful takeaways from that. And she talked a lot about if you're looking to become a speaker and get more opportunities to become a speaker, some opportunities there that you could take advantage of. So that was again a very meaningful session.
It was amazing. And also Michael Horesh was with us, time management for startups. I learned quite a lot from him. And Mahesh came back. And so he did a good session for us in terms of how to use market research and market research reports to advance our causes. But now I have to make a quick stop here. Entrepreneurship with AI. I mean, Mariana Bonecki. I mean, she's wonderful, and I know it's also near and dear to your heart, all the work she does to promote women
Yes,
business entrepreneurs. So not just people who are in a war zone. So she does a lot of work with Ukrainians, but
right.
also promoting, so women, helping women. How did you feel about that?
You know what, again, hit home with me personally, as a woman entrepreneur, personally. It's nice to see other women supporting women and lifting them up and sharing knowledge and education, because if every one of us did that, imagine the world would be a better place for sure.
Absolutely. And of course, we learn all about, authentic intelligence and AI and how to handle that. Now, I have to ask you about our keynote of the day, Dr. Robert Saul.
Oh, you know um I again another meaningful, heartfelt presentation about building of communities, and he's a pediatrician, retired pediatrician who wants to give back to the community, and so he spoke about living a life of service, and that I found very heartfelt, and he had some great things to talk about, post Columbine, and
Yeah.
key takeaways about about treating each other, kindness, empathy. Really, in the times we're living in right now, his remarks were certainly on point.
And we remain on one of our pillars, diversity. How about Elizabeth? Elizabeth was back with Empower Her.
Empower her. Elizabeth was our one of our keynotes at the last conference. Latina entrepreneur, spoke a lot about maintaining her Latina heritage in the work that she does, and we had an interesting conversation. A lot of questions from the audience about, oh, I've been told, from our global attendees, saying, oh, I've been told I should take classes and help me lose my accent. She said, no, your accent is who you are, and you need to embrace that. So again, very practical, very meaningful, because she's been there. And she's overcome adversity herself as a Latina entrepreneur. Grew her business to be a 7-figure business very successful. So I think people were riveted to her remarks.
Amazing. Of course, we had Dr. Walter Murray, and he was telling us all about how to manage the innovation process. And then sales with Mark Cook. How did you like Mark Cook?
You know what? I'll tell you know, it was again because we had heard from feedback from our last conference about wanted to see more folks talk about sales, and I really liked his remarks because he really talked about how to build a referral system to drive revenue for your business. And so I thought that was the that's like that was gold. That conversation was gold because I think that with just a little bit of effort, you could actually build a referral system for yourself and start generating revenue sooner rather than later. There was a lot of conversation in the remarks about sale, marketing versus sales. And when you're dealing with small business owners, they don't necessarily have large budgets. So, what's the best use of your operating budget? And so I think he kind of opened a lot of eyes about referrals and how that can really work for you if you do it right.
Yes, of course, the amazing Chela Diaz was back
Oh,
with teaching us how to charge what we should be charging. Of course, we're not, but we learned, and then we moved on, and we had the Industrial Metaverse Roundtable with Martin. Martin Schwerin is an expert. Now I have to stop here. Financial strength, unlock your power with Jen Nash.
you know what? Again, just real practical information. And I love, she shared her personal story, which I found very, very meaningful. And that's another thing I really liked about a lot of our speakers did that they really kind of shared their perspectives, of course, and their expertise, but their personal stories, which I think, and Jen in particular, I think a lot of people could relate to her personal story, but she also gave some really practical guidelines people can follow and really spoke to how your personal financial situation impacts your business's success. And so you have to be mindful and steps you can take to make sure that you've got your personal financial house in order. And if you do that and do that well, that will set your business up for success. So that was very meaningful.
Was amazing, and I really love the opportunity to speak with people about creating their narratives, so storytelling with scenario planning. And I
Yes.
loved your session because you're the only person I know who could take the balancing scorecard and make it exciting. So people were actually excited about the balance
Were they
scorecard.
excited about that? I know there was a lot of conversation about it. And of course, I've been, it's one of those things when you've been doing something for a long time, but the impact it can have. So that was fun.
Amazing your session. I loved it, and so
Thank
did
you.
the people. But you're the only person I know who can get people excited over the balance scorecard. So okay, without further ado, so you know what? For day 4, another amazing session. That was the Futures Day. We had a wonderful lineup. So we had Martin bringing in information from France. We had Kai from Germany talking about uses of futures literacy and different tools. Of course, we had the wonderful Dr. Stefan Bergheim, helping us with more futures literacy tools. Again, that's the Futures Day. How about neurodiversity? How did you feel about Chris Bramley's session?
You know what? I tell you that I don't think this is necessarily well understood. So this, I think, opened up a lot of eyes and
Mhm.
generated a lot of awareness. So, again, that's right. The purpose of the conference like this is to present some of these concepts that, in many cases, people are not well understood. And so, I really appreciated that.
Yeah, so of course, Simon brought a lot of information and helped us understand, uses of VR, innovation with VR.
Yeah,
Dimitro with his crowdsourcing of information. So he's in a war zone, and
yeah,
we don't take much time to think about it, but he helped us think through the entire process of crowdsourcing of information. And why is it important? Of course, the amazing Bluestamhoff. Of course, we are biased. She's recognized as the best teacher in the Netherlands. There are documentaries made about her. She's amazing. So don't miss. If you missed that session, go back and watch the Futures Literacy with Louis Demhoff and, of course, great friend Mike Green. So communication in times of crisis. And, of course, we're going through a time of crisis. Dr. Christoph Bisson with his business foresight and machine learning. So a lot of technology.
yeah, a
But
lot of.
now I have to stop the train on those tracks. How about our keynote for the day, Iris Goldfeather, with a wonderful team, fabulous team of participants and issues with LGBTQIA founders.
Absolutely. I think again, this was a remarkable session, and in the willingness of everybody to participate, there were a total of seven of them participating, and they sharing their personal stories of challenges, overcoming adversity. Those things that are most meaningful to them. And I think that was. I'm really glad that we did that. And that she was so willing to facilitate a group like that. I think that really resonated with a lot of our attendees.
Amazing. Of course, Rich Teller. So I loved his presentation. Actually, the delegation from Sweden in this conference was amazing. They brought so much in terms of innovation, technology, AI, Web3. It was just amazing. And I really love Dana Marduk's because futurepreneurship, if you don't know what it is, there's still time. Go back and watch his session. And then I have to stop here. So Steve Ramuna's thoughts. So the value of serving business schools very much along with our own pillars. How did you feel about his
You
job?
know
And
what? I'll tell you, I love his remarks, and it's interesting. That seemed to be a common theme when I reflect back on the 4 days. I think about his service mindset, service model. I heard that come out a lot over the last 4 days from a lot of different speakers. Elizabeth touched on it, Chella touched on it. About being service oriented, being giving. Don't hold back. Eat and don't expect anything in return. That's the thing that really kind of, I think, is really meaningful to people is just be generous with your time, your attention, your expertise. Have no expectations, that it's reciprocated because it will come back to you. And I really appreciated that about what he had to say.
loved it. And then we had two sessions back to back. So mindfulness with Diana Titterton, and then the empowered mind with Tiffany Lester. How did you feel about
you
those?
know Again, powerful because people need to, again, it's kind of that, we are all, even though we are entrepreneurs and business owners, we're all, we think we have to have these hard skills and have all this business acumen, which we do. But at the end of the day, we're, the way we think and the way we feel and the mindsets can be, debilitating for our success as business owners. And so just generating the awareness about paying attention to that, getting the help you need so that you are in the right frame of mind to really do service to your business, to your customers, and to your people, and to yourself and your family. So I really, again, very meaningful, and there's a lot of learning that is available about mindset mastery, and we had some great sessions there.
Well, that was the end of day four. But wait, we're not done. Is it time for a surprise yet?
I think so.
Okay, so let's get there. VCAPAX. So we're going to Asia Pacific, and Asia Pacific is next. How about that, Ev?
I'm so excited. I am so excited about what's coming.
Well, folks, we're not done. We're moving to VCAPAX. So let's share a little bit of information about that. So that's exactly where you can find more about VCAPAX. So we are still moving from our original site, which is VCEUROPEX. So let's share that one. And now we are opening the interest list for VCAPAX. So Asia Pacific Deb, VC Latinx, VC Europex, now VC APAX. We kept about the same logo. We kept the four pillars. We kept the four colors, right?
We
And
did.
of course, it's a great opportunity for people to network. So how do you feel about, our four pillars?
You know what? I this is this is what we stand for, right? So our focus is on education. So the free conferences allows people all over the world to access education, learn from the best subject matter experts in their field, and do it at no cost. So that was very, very important to us to provide that access. And so that's the first pillar. The second pillar is the training pillar, which is the 4 hour online training courses, which allows people to learn, skills building, so that they are able to actually learn how to implement and execute what they're learning. So that became the second pillar. The third pillar is all about coaching, because we all need help as business owners. We can't go it alone, and so we need support and direction there from the coaching community. And then, of course, we are a community of entrepreneurs. We're there to support each other, lift each other up. I think what's was really meaningful, Ram, is we've got over 13,000 members in our VC EuropeX community. So we're I think having a great impact in sharing knowledge, transferring knowledge, and the fact that we've had these great partners and great contributors for the training, for the education. Our speakers is really, really meaningful. And I know you're as grateful as I am for their willingness to make that kind of a contribution. It's really remarkable.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And folks, if you're planning a session, that is here a form just for you. If you're planning a session, would like to join us as a presenter, please complete the form. This is VCEUROPEX presenter submission form. All we need is your name, your LinkedIn or your crossing profile, your email, and then, of course, a short explanation of how will startups benefit from your session. And you're welcome to just attach any kind of information, Word document, PowerPoint, whatever you need. Just hit the submit session proposal, and we're going to get it. We're still forming the organizing committee, but at least Deb and I will get it, and we will get you on the right tracks. How about submitting a course proposal, Deb?
Absolutely. So we have an open call for speakers, as Ram just mentioned, but also a call for courses. So for those of you that are experts in your field in the areas of business, health, and wellness, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love for you to kind of share, your, recommendation for developing an online course. Again, we're really speaking about a 4 hour block of training that is helps build skills, that help people learn how to implement what they're learning, so that they can become more successful. So if are I have lots of experience, have some training you'd like to and provide instruction to and in many cases to new entrepreneurs. We have a lot of young entrepreneurs that are emerging, and they need to learn. We have a lot of well established business owners, and so there's a great opportunity to have an impact and to share your message with a global audience. So please, we'd love to hear from you.
And of course, the process is very similar. It's joining our course instructors for VCEUROPEX Conference. Again, just your name, your LinkedIn or crossing profile, your email, and exactly what will people learn from your course. Of course, you need to make sure, to convey that. And you can attach any kind of information, Word, PowerPoint, just hit the submit course proposal, and we're going to get it. Of course, the team, we're still, making up the team, but we're going to have chapter leads the same way we had in VC Latinx and, of course, in VC EuropeX. So we're putting that together. Of course, if you want to, remain in touch with us, just leave your email address in there and hit the subscribe button, sign up. And if you want to get our newsletter, a weekly newsletter managed by SMB Digital Education, just leave your email address here, your name, and we're going to get it. Social media is still in the works. We'll be opening so we have VC Latinx, we have VC EuropeX. Now we're going to move into VC APAX Facebook community. So that's in the works. We'll be there soon.
Very soon.
Oh, okay, folks, I think it's time for us to start really closing the conference. But of course, we couldn't close the conference without a very special recognition. The star of VC Latinx is our own Deb Dietz, And the star of VC Europex is again our own Deb Dietz. She is not only a conference chair, she's a person with utmost dignity, and I'm yet to meet a person with more work ethics than she does. Her dedication, her passion, her love is absolutely amazing. So, Deb, you got your second star in a row. You are just
Oh,
amazing. So, I love what you do, and you are a powerhouse, a force for change. You do amazing work, and I'm just moved to see how much you contribute, how much you dedicate, how much you serve a very large community, and how much you want to see them move forward and become better people.
oh, thank you, my friend, and I return um, the love because again I think together we've done something extraordinary here, and I very much like minded and with a common goal, and we both share that goal very passionately. About leveraging whatever we can to have a greater impact and to help lift up women and minorities and entrepreneurs all over the world so that they can be more successful, that they can educate themselves, so that they can get the funding that they need to grow their businesses. We share that that's a bond that we have because we share that vision so strongly. And the fact that we've been able to come together and leverage, when we started this, the collective horsepower of the media, you are the media, and online education, and put that all together and have an impact is very meaningful indeed. And, it's just a pleasure to be able to have that experience at this point in my career. So thank you for that.
Amazing. It's an honor and a privilege for me to work with you.
Thank you. Me too.
And folks, for our final message with you, the star of Ask Deb About Business, Deb Dietz.
As entrepreneurs, we're all on a roller coaster ride. We've arrived at the amusement park, approached the ticket booth, bought our ticket, and gotten on the ride. But why are we here? What was the spark that drove us here? When the car we're in starts to move, the fear appears, the fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough, fear of being an imposter. That fear of the unknown and our fear of making mistakes tricks us into focusing on what we don't know or can't see around the corner. And sometimes we're hanging upside down in the dark and we're moving so quickly, sometimes we can't breathe. But when we give ourselves the freedom to be uncertain and less than perfect, that is when the adventure begins. Our hands go in the air and we're starting to enjoy ourselves. We're learning, thriving, conquering, sometimes failing, recouping, and hopefully having a lot of fun. If it's one last thing you need before you get on this ride, it's to know that someone believes in you, that someone knows you can do it, and you can do this. I believe we're all entrepreneurs at heart. It's in our spirit, our heart, and our dreams. But I also know that running a business can be a scary prospect. So scary, in fact, that millions of people are too frightened to even try. And for those of us who do, it's hard. Without help, without education, training, coaching, and community, many won't make it. Every entrepreneur needs to know that someone believes in them. And the only way that I know to pay down the debt to those who helped me is to pay it forward, to let you know that the crazy ups and downs that you're experiencing, that crazy roller coaster ride, is normal and that you have what it takes. You were meant to take this ride. The objective of our conferences is to make a difference that allows women and minorities all over the world to have a seat at the table when it comes to raising capital and funding their businesses. Our 4 conference pillars of education, training, coaching, and community can help close that gap, allowing innovative ideas to flourish and to make the world a better place. Through our efforts here this week, we hope we empowered your entrepreneurial confidence, hopes, and dreams. So, if you're not on the ride yet, go to the ticket booth and buy your ticket. I know there's a spark in you. And when the fear comes, push it aside and get on the ride anyway. Prepare yourself, because it is through education, training, coaching, and community, the 4 pillars, that you will find success. And soon you'll be picking up speed, putting your hands in the air, all without losing your mind. And soon you'll be thinking about the track ahead and buying your ticket for the next ride. Remember, you are the CEO of your own life. Whether we are talking about a football game, an election, or an entrepreneurial journey, one thing is certain. There are going to be winners and there are going to be losers. Want to stack the odds of being a successful entrepreneur in your favor? Keep learning. This entire conference was about learning. Your age, years of experience, or level of success should never prevent you from learning. We can all continue to learn and be inspired from other entrepreneurs, from other subject matter experts. Before I leave you today, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who contributed to our 4-day conference. To our conference chair, Ram Gayoso, thank you. To our speakers, sponsors, exhibitors, partners, and online course creators, thank you for sharing your time and expertise with our attendees who have joined us from all over the world. Know that they learned from you. Who knows? Maybe you were the one that triggered a spark that will drive someone to the ticket booth of entrepreneurship. And remember, it takes each of us to make a difference for all of us. I leave you with the words of Theodore Roosevelt at his speech at the Sorbonne, Paris, France, April 1910. It is not the critic who counts, not the woman who points out how the strong woman stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who actually does strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if she fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So go and dare greatly.